Hi, everyone. This is Professor Hai Nguyen, and I want to welcome you to my introduction video to the modules, right? So in the previous videos, you have watched me explain to you what the class entails in terms of your reading assignments, in terms of the assignments that you're going to be graded upon, right? And how your grading breaks down. So in this video, I want to take the time to explain to you how the modules work and the purpose of the modules and how I would approach somewhat working on the modules on a weekly basis. So I'm going to try to make this video as brief as possible, right, to explain to you what the modules assignments are about. So if you go to the modules page, okay, all right, so if you click on the modules page on the left side of your screen, you'll see modules, okay? So let me go to the modules here. All right, so in this class, you're gonna have 10 modules, right? Covering somewhat American history from Native American societies all the way to Reconstruction. And it breaks down by somewhat time period and by content. So module number 1, as you can see here, it is based on the reading that you're gonna be doing in the textbook. So I have already labeled to you, indicated to you what chapter you're gonna need to read in order for you to prepare for each and every modules, if you will, right? So you're gonna have to do some reading. Now, how I would approach this assignment. Okay, so before you do the reading, what I recommend you do is go to the module quiz page first, right? Go to the module quiz page first. And what you're gonna see is questions that is going to be on your quiz, right? These are the questions that's going to be on your quiz. Now, you don't know the question, you don't know the answers that you get to choose from, but at least this gives you an idea of the type of questions. Literally, it's the exact questions, right, that you're gonna be answering, right? Again, the module quiz, 20 multiple choice questions. 20 minutes for you to complete the test. You get 2 tries, 2 attempts. Whichever one is your highest, it will be saved as your score. You get 2 attempts. That is it, right? Each question is 1 point, 20 questions, that is 20 points, 10 module quizzes, that's 200 points. That's how it breaks down, guys. And the objective to the module quiz is very simple. It is designed to test your reading comprehension. I'm just trying to figure out, did you do the reading, right, in the textbook? That's what I'm trying to figure out, right? That is it. So the objective of this assignment is to test your reading comprehension of the textbook. Fairly straightforward. I'm not gonna waste any more time to explain to you what the quiz is about, all right? So you got 10 quizzes covering American history, right, based on the reading within the textbook itself, right? So that's the module quiz, 20 points, okay? Module assignment, it's a little different, right? Module assignment is a little different. It is not multiple choice. You will have to do some prerequisite reading to understand the context of the topic that we're gonna be looking at. I want you to think of the module assignment as basically a deeper dive into content that you have learned from the textbook, right? From the textbook. So for module number 1, very simple, read chapter number 1, right? To understand, to get the context of Native American societies before 1492 when Christopher Columbus has arrived, right? And then what you wanna do is ultimately go down and look at the questions that you're gonna have to answer, right? You're gonna have to answer as part of the assignment, right? Every module assignment will have a question for you to answer or multiple questions that you're gonna have to answer. So if you look at module number 1, what am I asking you to provide a response to? I'm asking you, how have Native Americans been perceived and stereotyped by the American public historically, right? So how have we viewed Native Americans? What stereotypes, right? What images, what perceptions, right? Very simple, right? I'm also asking you, all right, how does the documentary that you're gonna be watching in this module assignment, right, complicate those stereotypes of Native Americans that we have had in American history, right? because we have new research, guys, to show us that Native Americans, what they have accomplished. So I'm asking you to watch a short episode from The City of the Skies, right? And then ultimately, I want you to think about Native Americans today, right? I want you to think, do those previous stereotypes historically, right, exist up until today? And they do. Why? Now, in order for you to answer these questions, right, you have to review the textbook. That's number one. You also have to review the primary sources that I have assigned here, okay? That I have assigned here. And your answers to these questions must come from these assigned primary and secondary sources. They should not come from your textbook, right? Should not, right? They should not come from your textbook. You should only use the textbook as context to give you a better understanding of, oh, yeah, I learned about Native Americans in the textbook. Let's see what else can we learn about Native Americans through the sources, if you will. That's why I say it's a deep dive. So your answers to the questions down below should not be cited from the textbook, because I have had students, right, where they would just say, well, in the textbook, according to the textbook, and they would just use all of the textbook as their answers. Guys, no, right? That is not the point of the module assignment. The point of the module assignment is for you to specialize, right, and practice the skills that historians, right, what we do on a regular basis. So what is it that we do? We look at primary sources, right, and also secondary sources, and we come up with our own interpretation. That is it. So for example, if you want to talk about how Native Americans have been perceived historically, so let's just pull up, let's see here. It's very simple, guys. Don't overthink it, right? So I'm going to pull up a sample here, right? So this is a very famous, iconic image, right, that was painting of Native Americans after the American Revolution, right? And if you look at this image, right, think about how this painting shaped American perception, right, after the American Revolution, right? Historically, like if you look at this painting, how does it portray Native Americans? Does it portray Native Americans in a good light or in a bad light? I don't think it takes much analyzing here, guys, to see that Native Americans are really portrayed in a very negative image here. It's that simple, right? It is that simple. I'm not trying to confuse you, right? I'm not trying to somewhat trick you or anything like that. It's that simple, guys, right? So basically, you look at this painting and you use it as part of your analysis and your answer to the questions down below. That is it, right? So your answer could be something like, oh, Native Americans have been stereotyped and perceived by the American public as savages, as seen in document number 3. Right? Now, you don't have to give me a full description of what the image is, because why, guys, this is not an eye exam, so I don't need a reading description of what this image is. But you can summarize it, and along this line, we can see in document number 3 that ultimately Native Americans are vilified as savages as they are murdering, right, Jane here. It's that simple, guys, right? Right? It is that simple, right? So that's the simple citation that you can include, right? According to source number 3, right? Or you can even do source number 3 at the end of your sentence. You don't need to provide to me a works cited list, because why? I know where the sources come from, because why? I assigned them, right? And I even provided a number to them. So basically all you have to say is according to source number 3, something of that nature. You don't have to provide to me a works cited list, okay? So your answers to these questions must come from the assigned sources. They should not come from the textbook. They should not come from outside research. I know some of you are gonna get somewhat, you're gonna try to shortcut this and you're gonna try to Google it, right? Because guys, do not do that, because if you get caught using outside sources, right, your assignment will not receive partial credit. And the thing is, when you go outside of this class, in terms of assigned sources, you're actually doing more work, guys, doing more research, because here I am providing sources for you to use, right? And when you just Google stuff and you go outside of the classroom, that's actually more work and you're not going to get rewarded for it. And then on top of that, you are risking plagiarism, because I know it's going to be a nasty habit. It's going to be late night and you're just going to be like, look, I just got to turn stuff in, right? And you're going to copy and paste from Wiki, and then ultimately you're going to submit it and you're going to get caught, because all of your assignments are going to be submitted through Turnitin.com. It's a plagiarism check, and ultimately it's going to produce a report to me and you, and it's going to tell me whether your work is original or not, right? So guys, just don't do it, right? Just analyze the sources that I have assigned and ultimately answer the questions that I have posed down here, and ultimately write it in an essay format. Minimum of 500 words, right? 2 pages minimum. It's minimum, not maximum, guys. You can write as much as you want, right? But it's the minimum that you need to exceed, okay? And let's say you decide to quote from the sources, okay? Anything that you quote will not count towards your word count. So as you can see here, I said 500 words, but let's say your word count is at 504, and then ultimately I look at your essay and I can see that you quoted a paragraph from the text, from the assigned sources. I'm gonna give your score a 0. Because why? Guys, you need to follow the rules in this class. I'm not saying that you can't quote. I prefer you not quoting from the text, because again, I don't need to read the text through you. I need to read your interpretation of the text. So I need to read your summary of the text, if you will. But to make a long story short, guys, anything that you quote will not count towards your word count, right? So I'm very particular. You got to make sure that you meet the minimum threshold here. You do have to utilize the sources to validate your answers to the question, but you don't necessarily have to quote, guys. Just learn how to summarize and paraphrase in your own words. Now, we have a page by my colleague at Ohlone College. She's going to help you to learn how to somewhat quote and cite from the sources, but the best way is to summarize the sources in your own words. I think it's less work that you have to do, and ultimately it gives you good practice. So that's what the modules assignment are about. Again, I want to emphasize this. Your answers to the question that I pose here must come from the assigned sources, right? Secondary, so here you have 6 sources that you're going to have to use. Your answers should not come from the textbook, and they should not come from outside research. I want to make that clear, okay? Now, it's important that you get these modules assignment done, because this is practice for you to prepare for your exams, because you're going to be doing the same thing you're going to be doing for the exams, but you're only going to have 2 hours, right? Instead of 2 weeks or whatever time period that you have to work on these things. So you want to make sure that you complete the assignments and you use the assigned sources, if you will, okay? So I hope that's been clear in terms of what the assignments are about, the modules assignment. Now, not all assignments are going to be just primary and secondary sources, if you will. You do have another assignment. Some of the assignments, you're going to have discussions, right? I'm really big on trying to engage you on contemporary issues using history, if you will. So it's going to be very similar. You're going to analyze primary sources, secondary sources, if you will, right? But the discussions, it's a little different. You will post your response to the question that I asked on an online discussion that your other classmates are going to be able to read, right? And once you post your topic reply, your answers to these questions that I asked, utilizing the sources, right? Your classmates are going to see it, and you will also be able to see your other classmates' topic reply as well. And you look at the first discussion that we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking about Christopher Columbus Day. Do you think we should celebrate Christopher Columbus Day or not, right? Now, you need to answer all of these questions, because I need to see, have you analyzed the sources, if you will, but you will have to answer somewhat these last 2 questions, if you will. Should we abolish Christopher Columbus Day? And what I want you to do is, once you post your topic reply, you're going to see your other classmates reply. And what I want you to do is provide a peer reply, 100 words to your classmates. Just 2 of them, just 2, right? 2 of them. And ultimately have a conversation with them as to whether or not we should abolish Columbus Day or not. Something of that nature, right? 100-word feedback. Find somebody that you disagree with, right? And ultimately have a conversation with them, constructive conversation with them. All right, guys? So that's the discussion. There's 4 discussions in this class. their module assignment, but their discussion forum. So Christopher Columbus Day is one of the module assignment. We're going to have another one on the Electoral College. We're going to have on the two-party system, and ultimately Confederate flags, 4 of them, right? That you're going to be participating, engaging with your fellow classmates on a number of topics. But you're still going to have to analyze primary sources, secondary sources, if you will, that comes from the assigned sources. So make a long story short, guys, content modules, right? Modules assignment is designed to test your reading and your assessment and interpretation of the sources, and only these sources. I want to make that clear, okay? I want to make that clear. I hope that's been clear to you. But on that, guys, yes. So 10 modules, 60 points per modules, right? 40 points for the module assignment, right? And 20 points for the module quiz, right? And again, I hope this video has been clear to you on how to prepare for the modules assignment, what they are. And again, before you start the module assignment, go to the module quiz first, see what type of questions you will have to answer. Then ultimately do your reading. And what I recommend you do is take the quiz, right? Take the quiz first before you do the module assignment, because just to get some momentum going, right? Just to get the mind going, if you will, it's fairly straightforward. The quiz and the module assignment, they're not linked to each other and everything like that. So take the quiz first, get some momentum going, and then go into the module assignment, read what the questions are first before you analyze the sources. Once you analyze the sources, right, watch all of the sources, then write me an essay response that answers all of the questions and submit it online. That's how it works, guys, all right? So I hope this has been informative and clear to you. Okay, so I will see you in the next video where I will explain to you the book review assignment. All right, guys? So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.